everyone, it's me, Cara Coronado.
Hey, it's DeJa Sky.
Yes.
Oh my God. Welcome to the live version of...
version. I'm so excited. Sorry.
Do you see what I go through?
The live version. The live version. It's live. It's live. It's live.
Welcome to the live version of... Oh my God, girl.
Play the track, ho. Mm-hmm.
Girl. Oh my God. Oh my girl. Oh my God.
Yes! Oh my God!
Oh my God. Oh my girl.
Oh my God, girl.
Cute. Cheers. Well, we can't clink because COVID. But how was you?
Go green. Oh, I'm good. I'm lovely. I'm looking like a sexy Barney.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm good. I'm looking like a sexy poop, so it's okay.
That bloody one.
Yes, the bloody poop. The bloody poop. Yes, a Latina caca.
Cara!
Caca.
Why didn't you tell me I look this gorgeous?
Because you don't.
Okay.
And that's the end of the podcast.
Bye.
Oh, God. Well, yeah, we wanted to give you guys like a little, I don't know, video
Yeah,
representation.
this is what we look like at every single one, but we wanted to get it live. Like,
correct.
We are fully corseted, fully padded, wigged, lash, contact,
Yep.
and apart.
We
It's not
swear.
6 feet, but this is 6 inches.
Yeah, someone's dick is in between. Yeah, but this is probably the one and only time we're really gonna be like looking at you guys. Otherwise, we're gonna be just
Looking
doing
at
our
each other.
podcast like we do our podcast. So, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast channel where all streaming platforms are available.
Yes,
we do
ma'am.
appreciate it.
We love you.
Yes,
Even the haters, we love you.
except you.
Thank you for lurking.
Except you. If you're hearing this, if you're listening to this.
Fuck you.
Yes. All right. So we did our
First things first.
Yeah, we have to settle a debate because we
Yeah.
did our first versus.
Versus.
Versus. Yeah, that was actually cute. That's a cute idea.
You're welcome.
I just love the whole podcast. All it is just you trying to convince me to do versus.
But friend, it's versus.
It was cute. So we did Britney versus Gaga.
Yes.
And then obviously we couldn't come. We did kind of come to somewhat
But it
of like
wasn't
a winner.
unanimous.
Yeah, there was still like we still had so many like I don't know.
Yeah.
And so we did finally ask everybody, and we got your guys' input. So for best single in video, you said Toxic. I said Bad Romance. Actually, Bad Romance won by a landslide. Well, not a landslide. It's at 60% to 40%.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
To Trump, that's a landslide.
Rigged.
Yes. So, Bad Romance did win.
Yes.
Now, this one, baby, let me tell you. Okay, so best choreography. Slave for You and Judas. Now, in the podcast, you got real like, Judas? Really?
Judas, yeah.
Like you were like, I don't know. Which now looking back on it, I wish I would have challenged it with Telephone. That would have been so much better. But still I was holding on to my juice.
Mm-hmm.
the juice. The
juice.
juice.
The juice.
So Slave for You did win.
Well, I mean, hello.
But let me tell you.
What?
So when I started this, right, Slave for You was winning by like a landslide. Yeah. What it won by was 51% to 49% Judas.
And that's because you messaged people privately
I
and
had to
told them to vote.
Trump and all of his fake accounts voted. So that's what happened.
Just you in a different wig. Yes.
Yes. No, 124 to 118.
That's good. I mean, that's
crazy.
But again, like I guess it is as iconic as you said it was.
Yeah.
So
to the Gaga fans, they're
whatever.
like, bitch, yeah. So she won that. So that's one for Britney, one for Gaga.
Yeah.
Best infamous moment. You said Britney going bald. I said the meat dress. Landslide, Britney going bald.
Hello.
Won hands down, 70% to 30%.
Yeah. That's like my math test in school.
Yes.
I for some reason always did 70.
Oh, I thought it was 30%. I was like, oh. There's a 70% chance that you're going to have a 30% test.
Yes.
Now, best live performance. Now, apparently some people were confused by this one, aka Chris. They thought I was talking about that specific live performance.
Okay.
I was like, no. It's just live
live
performance.
performances.
Gaga won by
plurals.
landslide for that one, though.
Offie.
173 said Gaga, 58 said Britney.
Haters. That's
I
good.
didn't dare put best vocalist because it would have been 100%.
It would have been 100%.
Yeah.
Me, no. The one would have been Britney.
Yeah, you and Melody would have been the two people.
Yeah.
Now, best tour, you had said Onyx Hotel.
Yeah.
And then I had said the Monster Ball. Frankly, too, just because we both went to those tours. Monster Ball won.
Duh.
So, and by a landslide for that one. Now
keep in mind, Onyx, like, that was in, like, 2004. Monster Ball was, like, 2011.
2009.
2009
to 2011.
They were close enough.
Now, underrated album. Blackout, Art Pop.
Okay.
Now, this one wasn't really a category in there, but we kind of talked about it.
Yeah.
We had said, like, oh, I wish if it was underrated, I would have said Art Pop. But we had said, I originally in the podcast said my favorite album was
Yes.
Born This Way. But favorite album's kind of hard to be like, do you think this is the favorite album or not? So I said, what was the best underrated album? This one, I got so many fucking responses from the gays being
Really?
like, why would you make me choose this? Like, why would you make me decide this?
Because we can, Eileen.
Yes. 107 said Blackout. 130 said Art Pop.
So that was
Art
close.
Pop won.
That was close.
So, but
But it was close.
But at one point,
But it was close.
I was getting excited watching these because at one
To
point
you.
Blackout was like to you.
To you.
Blackout was like winning for the longest
Sure.
time, and then I don't know where Art Pop
Yeah.
took.
Well, that's the same thing with mine. Like,
Yeah.
Whenever I did it for like the longest time, I was like, "Oh, good. Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
Yeah, ooh,
they're coming for
Ooh,
it.
gotcha,
They're coming.
yeah.
You messaged them. I knew you messaged
I
them.
did.
The riggery.
The riggery and the wiggery.
The rigor mortis.
The rigor mortis. Now, as far as best Britney album,
Okay.
it was almost unanimous. I want you to kind of take a look. I know you're kind of looking at it upside down, but it was almost
read upside
unanimous.
That it was
Blackout.
Yeah.
All the gays love Blackout. Now,
Hello.
close second was In the Zone, or there was another one that was close to In the Zone or Circus. I saw a lot of Circus on there too.
Someone can't spell circus.
But yeah, someone put Circuit, and I was like, oh, Shangela. But yeah, it looks.
Triggered.
Now it looks like though unanimously everybody, at least in my audience pool,
Yeah.
thought Blackout is the greatest
Sure.
Britney album, which they agreed with you.
And she did all of this. All I did was Gaga or Britney. She had all the time in the world to do all these polls. I was like, Gaga or Britney?
Yeah, I was on my break at work.
Yeah.
Now for Gaga, it was honestly hard because a lot of people put almost every different album. Now I saw a lot of Fame Monsters and I saw a lot of Born This Ways.
Yeah.
So it seemed
Those
like
one
it's-
Chromatica.
Yeah,
Ew,
those Chris.
goodbye. Go
Joanne.
away with the Joanne.
Actually, Adriana put Chromatica or Joanne.
Love
I was
that.
like, word. Probably because she can
Shout
sing
out
the
to you,
Joanne
sis.
ones. Yes. So it looks like best Gaga album. It's a tie between either Fame Monster and Born This Way, which
Okay,
seems
cute.
doable. Now,
Love
as far
that.
as who was your overall queen,
Wait, Fame Monster?
Fame Monster.
Wasn't that like an EP? It was like 7 songs.
It was considered an album though because it was nominated for a Grammy for best album. So
Okay.
I'll call it that. But I mean, EP just means extended play, but
thought it meant, like,
it could be considered
Enema
an
Princess.
album. Yeah, that's just you. Now, best queen overall, Lady Gaga took the crown. So
By
they
how
actually
many?
did agree with
Oh,
us.
bitch. It was like
152
54 to
to
152.
50. Which
Okay.
means that people that were voting for Britney were like, girl,
Yeah.
I have to give it to Gaga.
Yeah.
So that's good.
On my poll, it was literally like 18% Britney and the rest was Gaga. See, here's the thing. You have to understand. Most of our demographic, or at least I think, especially yours
Yes.
and mine, most of our demographic is in the LGBTQIA plus community.
Mm-hmm.
So Gaga, it just gives more than Britney, which is what we said. Gaga's a gay icon where Britney's just an icon. So for gay people, Gaga like speaks to them and Gaga like warms their heart and Gaga is someone to look up to.
Yeah.
Whereas Britney, it's more or less like,
Which
you
is
know
weird
what I mean?
because she's 5'2". Who are you going to look up to when she's 5'2"?
Isn't she 5'3"?
5'2". That's a movie called 5'2".
But she
5'2".
actually
She grew-
measured herself and it was 5'3".
I lied.
She actually said in a thing. I
Wow.
promise you.
She probably was being Stephanie about it because she
Who?
likes to have fun. I mean, listen, me and Gaga go back, you know,
way back to
way
the piano.
Uh-huh.
I love it. But that was fun. Honestly, please let us know because this versus battle was amazing. We have so many more ideas.
Yeah.
But that was great.
I want to keep doing it. It definitely, I feel like people Listen, if there's
It's
one
like
thing
interactive.
Yeah, and if there's one thing gays love doing, it's competing against other gays.
And
So
having
it's like-
opinions. Yes.
when they're unwarranted. But this time they were definitely warranted.
were down for it.
Yeah,
We were down
we
for
said,
it.
sure, let's have you guys in.
Let's let them tell them. Yeah.
But
that was fun.
Yeah, no.
I agree, honestly. I agree. With like the like Britney just is near and dear to my heart, but so is Gaga.
she's right here.
So, it's engorged with cheese.
Yes.
So she's just near and dear to my heart. So, but I totally understood. I'm not one of those people that's like, no, Team Britney, girl. If Gaga wins, Gaga wins.
Yeah.
That's just the tea. That's why Gaga's the queen of pop. Britney's the princess of pop.
Correct. I feel like Gaga's just the queen. The queen. The motherfucking
The eternal queen.
The eternal
live
queen.
forever.
The eternal queen, yes. But
So speaking of drag queens,
yeah. Like I say, speaking of going all the way back.
yes.
So this episode, we kind of also looked at when we did the poll, remember?
Yes.
For
when we stripped on polls.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stripped on polls.
Okay, I dropped the poll because I was too heavy, so it just
Yeah.
yes.
It's just, and by the poll, it was a straight light.
It was
Yeah.
it was a tree trunk.
Yes. But yeah, we're going to talk about the history of Cara Coronado and
As
DeJa
I like
Skye.
to call it, the greatest story ever told.
The greatest story ever bold. Bold. I don't know. Bold.
That'll do.
It'll do,
That'll
donkey. That'll do, donkey. Yeah, or some people call it Shrek and Donkey.
Yeah.
On another world adventure.
So I guess I'll start just because I started drag before you.
How do you know that? What if I was just
Okay,
turning up
actually-
what if I was turning up at the Red Lantern?
Actually, let me just like go back because I was talking to Gigi about this and I was like, wait, I actually did drag before I thought I did drag. So when I was right out of high school, I think I was like 18, 45, one of those years.
One of them.
My friend actually, for Halloween, dressed me up as like a hooker. So, and I guess I didn't recall it because I thought my drag career started in like 2011. But like, we literally, like, I had, it was a real girl doing my makeup who wasn't even good at makeup herself.
Shit.
And like, I think a wig that so I do remember that. But I officially started July 6th of 2011. That was my official start date.
Ooh.
Ooh. It was a Monday. It was for Aldo's at what was it? Unzipped. I was gonna say Untucked.
Yes. And now I was gonna say, instead of your best friend dressing you up like a hooker, you dress yourself up like a hooker
Every day. Hey, hey.
Yes.
It was fun. I mean, I went out with the sweaty, disgusting. You could see my mustache. What has changed? But it was bad. I used Sally's makeup.
Sally's Beauty?
Sally's Beauty makeup.
They have makeup?
Yeah, girl.
I didn't know this.
They had the first baked highlighter on the market.
Wow.
They had the first
Come
one.
on, Sally.
It's funny because I went out again. I had a mustache, but for some reason, because I watch Misty Eyes on YouTube.
Yes. Oh, girl, Misty Eyes.
She would highlight like really crazy. So for some reason, I just had like a white mask for some reason. But
We could always find you in the dark, though.
Yes. For some reason, I've always loved highlight until But I got that. What was that? That China Bang, like black.
Ooh, the Nicki Minaj.
Yes. And then because I wanted to do my natural hair, and then
Shut the fuck up.
and then I got like a brown heather. Do you remember the heathers? Sorry. Do you remember the heathers? Where it was like just that banged but curled wig. Yes, ma'am. And then because my first time ever going out, I had the brown heather on, and then my second time was Nikki, and then I just rotated. I just went brown, black, brown, black,
Heather,
brown,
Heather,
black.
Nikki, Heather,
Yeah.
Nikki.
But it was
Love
fun.
that. Yeah.
It like when you first out. Okay, having a stroke. When you first start doing drag, you're just having fun.
Yeah.
There's no pressure.
you.
There's no pressure. There's no nothing. You're
Yeah.
literally just out there. Like I was on the dance floor, sweating my fucking ass off, a lot skinnier. But it was just fun. It was just fun.
That's the time I miss is like just no fucks
like
given.
no pressure, no nothing.
Now see, DeJa was the first. You were the first. Your name's DeJa. I don't know if you know this, but you were the first drag queen that I had. Well, okay, no.
I was about to say
You're the first drag queen I saw at Aldo's.
Okay.
The first time I'd seen you was at Aldo's, and it was the infamous performance where you were. What did you? You did Kesha?
Yes, I did Kesha in Boots.
Yes, you did Boots, and you had a shirt on that said "I hate boys" or
I love boys.
Oh yeah, she loves boys, and I think you had the heather on.
Yes, I
It was
did.
probably that red,
Blonde.
that blonde with black root.
Before blonde, when a black root was famous,
Uh-huh.
I did it. I just used the black hairspray and then just.
It was spray
Yeah.
paint.
It was. So you hadn't seen me in. No,
I
was
had
this-
never seen you in drag. I thought it was Raping Simone up there.
But it was.
That's what
You can gaze into the past. It was something. But I do remember my friend Kimora, not Kimora Black. Kimora, this tall.
Tall.
This tall white bitch that looked like Raven.
Oh, yes. Jason Adcock.
Yes.
Shout out to you.
He like teased it for me, and it was cute. I had fun. I used to wear boots like a lot.
Oh, boots. House
The
down
house
boots.
down boots.
Backstory, shout out to Jason Adcock, because if you guys ever saw the viral Karen mask, he's the one that made it. Work.
She better.
See? Yes. See, DeJa and I are always 3 degrees of separation away from
Each
famous,
other. Yeah.
of being
No,
famous.
honestly, we're just like, we know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that fucks somebody that knows somebody.
That knows the
you know
president.
What I mean? Yeah.
Obama. Weak. So I remember going to all those, and I remember going with my friend, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's a drag show," and I thought drag meant like you were becoming a woman. I had no.
Say it again. You thought drag was
Like
becoming
I
a
thought
woman?
it was like trans essentially. I thought
okay,
when I
okay,
first
okay.
went out, I was like, "Oh, she's trans."
Again, different day and age.
Yeah.
Not everything now is very just like, no, this is what it is. But back then it was like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, and like YouTube was still like taking off. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like computer was just invented
Honestly,
when DeJa
internet.
started doing drag.
There was literally like 2 drag tutorials. That was it.
DeJa did a show when Thomas Jefferson invented or got electricity, or Thomas
That's
Edison.
not Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Edison. One of the
pretty.
Thomases.
She's
One
pretty.
of the white ass Thomases and this motherfucker. But yeah, she was there with a kite.
Yeah. No! I love it.
But yeah, no, I remember. Well, okay, so I had done backstory then. So for
Okay.
me, so I was a musical theater boy. You know this, and I was doing.
The world knows this. You say it every 5 minutes.
God, Broadway.
I just want you to feel, Mom.
Right. So I was doing a show called The Chorus Line, and in that show,
Where was this?
At CMT, Children's Musical Theater Works here in Fresno.
Okay. Shout out
to y'all. But I was doing the show, and my character had this huge monologue where he talks about like that he got put into like he was not old enough to be a boy in like the chorus line, so they made him a pony, which was like a boy dressed as a girl.
Okay. That was the term.
Yeah.
I was like, they witchcraft this bitch
Sophie,
into
pony boy.
Cute.
You know?
Pony.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. So Pony was that essentially. So he was in the chorus, but he was dressed as a female.
Okay.
So they put him in drag, and he was talking about how he felt like Anime Wong, and then his parents saw him in drag, and it was just this whole ordeal, right? And it's this sad. It's a sad monologue. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous. But anyways, so part of my character process was like, I need to look up drag queens. So I started watching Drag Race, and but at that time season 2 had just come out.
Okay.
So I was watching season 2. Actually, no, season 4 was just coming out, but I caught up to season 2 and 3 because that's
Okay.
when it was on Netflix back in the day.
Back in the day.
And then one of my friends was like, we should go watch a drag show. And I was like, where's our drag show in Fresno? I was thinking it's going to be in some like nasty ass club.
Some alley.
Yeah, some alley. And then we got to all those and we passed the alley and there was the nasty ass club.
I know, we just said, oh my God.
As if we were performing at the Taj
some
Mahal.
gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah, no. And then, so I went to all this for the first time. I had a blast.
Did you?
But I remember they're like, all right, time for the drag show. And I was like, okay, who's this? And then this bitch came out. It was sick.
So it was for Gilbert's birthday is when
Yes.
you went. So it's jam-packed. Yeah.
Jam-packed.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so you had never done drag up until that point, like
Ever. Not even thought about it. I was that gay that was like, I will never do drag.
Same.
I'm not that person.
Same.
No.
I was like a dancer and choreographer, so I was like, I'll just go to the club in like booty shorts and just dance. It never occurred to me that I was like, let me.
And it's so weird because I had never. I mean, you know this about me because I wasn't really into like drag, obviously, but I was out as a boy all the time, all the fucking time, all the fucking time.
All the fucking time.
You were always trying to come for somebody.
All the fucking time. Shout out to you, Melissa.
Yes. But I was always out all the time, and I never saw you out of drag. Ever.
Yeah.
But I always saw you in drag.
Because I was literally, every Monday, I was there. Every single Monday, I was there in full face.
Yes. Well, and that's when it was like, I mean, we'll get into that more, but that's when like drag was like, oh, okay. That's when you would go out with your sisters like on a weekend or even just to go out and drag. Like it was like, now
That's
people
the
look at
fun
it.
part.
Yes, people
Yeah.
look at it now as like, oh, I have to get in drag tonight. But back then we were like, bitch, it's Monday. There's an event tonight. I'm getting in drag. I don't care. Like,
because nowadays it's like, well, how much am I getting paid? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? Back then it was like, let me just go out and support and show my face.
our heads rolled when we were one time up north somewhere, and we had heard that girls were being like, I'm not going out unless I get paid.
Yes.
Like DeJa and I were both
I had
like,
done free gigs. I don't know how many times.
yes, but like, and this is coming from like DeJa, who like, I would have to pressure her after a gig to be like,
Stay in drag.
leave your drag
Yes.
on and leave your, you know what? She'll be like, friend, can I at least wear my flops? I'm like, go ahead, wear your flops.
Because I just want to get out of face. Like, I've done my job. I had a blast. But I just want to relax, get out of face, go get something to eat.
Whereas me,
That's just
I'm
that.
like, let's go have fun. Let's be
Yeah,
drunk.
yeah.
Let's be girls.
Sure.
Let's be girls. So
Let's
yeah.
be girls, girl.
But like, and there's no shade. I mean, if that's what you do, that's what you do. But for us, we just, I mean, we were all
you.
about like, we want to have fun. Yeah, for me, I was like, let's have fun. I don't want to be the only clown getting kicked out of the club. So.
No, it's true. No, you are, and you're still in full heels and everything. And I'm just like, why?
And the big ones too. Not even like,
why?
I didn't even change my
Because she's
comfy
known for
ones.
her walks.
Yeah.
It makes
But
it makes perfect sense.
But yeah, that was such a fun time. But I remember though, always seeing you in drag. You were always with it was you and about 7 other Mexican girls with that same side, that side swoop wig.
We got it from Patty.
But Patty did it. Yep.
Let me just tell
you
you.
knew they were part of DeLeon Leon family if they had that side swoop wig and a club dress on.
So before I actually like officially started being friends with Patty, shout out to you, Patricia De Leon, I remember seeing them at Aldo's, and again, CoverGirls was like minimal. I actually drag in general back in the day, minimal makeup, like baby lashes, nothing, like barely any cover.
They thought Airspun was a myth.
Literally, like no one. They all used the pressed powder.
Oh,
anyway, they did. So I remember seeing them out, but they were as boys. They thought they were just gonna just pass everyone. I'm like, you look the same. I was like,
with their
hey,
eyebrows
how
up
are
to
you?
here.
Yeah, I was like, hey, how are you? And they're just like, you recognize us? And I'm like, yeah, you just performed last week. Like, they look the same.
And,
like,
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Some people, a complete transformation, but some people just kind of just paint what's there. That's what they did. They painted what was there. So I was just like, hi. They're like, you recognize us? Yeah, girl.
Of course I recognize you.
And then it really was a crazy time when you were at a drag and someone at that time, now I don't care. But at that time, when someone recognized me out of drag, I was like, what? I'm a
The illusion
woman.
is shattered.
How dare you? I didn't know that you could see through this sheer foundation.
With a wig on still, though.
It was
with a full wig
still
on.
my costume.
Yeah.
How'd you know it was
How'd
me?
you know it was me?
I love it.
But yeah, but I never introduced myself to you. I was always
But
like,
I knew Damon because
you went to school with him.
Yeah, so backstory, Damon got kicked out of middle school for drugs. Makes sense. But
I don't think we needed to say that, but it's in the video.
It's in the video. Sorry, shout out to you, sis. But then we wait, that wasn't him. Yes, it was him. So we just never connected, and then I think he tried to we tried to do Jazzy D. Do you remember Jazzy D?
Oh, Jazzy
Dance
D.
studio. And it just didn't work. But I remember seeing him out.
Is Jazzy D when you're fucking a guy and you suck his dick and you blow it like a Louis Armstrong trumpet? Jazzy D, get it? I thought it was hilarious.
That makes one of us. So he was like, hey, Damon, how are you? And then he's, oh, this is my boyfriend, Brandon. Was that when you were in the Jersey? Or no?
Probably. Sounds familiar. I was always drunk underage at that point. I don't even remember.
How old were you?
Probably like 2. Just kidding. No, I was like 18, 19.
When you went to Aldo's?
No, okay, no. I was like 19, 20.
Okay.
Around there. Yeah, because when I had my 20th birthday party, that was the the Party Monster one.
I was there.
Yes.
Yes, because that's when you guys were in jerseys.
Because it was a hot ticket in town, mama.
Because Aldo's is 18 and over, so it's not,
And I used to sneak over to the 21 and over side.
Henny, get
and then
that
they'd
drink.
be like, isn't it your birthday? I'm like, no.
It's always my birthday.
Yeah. That's my twin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's stupid. He'd be born on the same fucking day. Okay, never mind.
So when did you first come out in drag? Do you remember?
I'm still waiting. I'm waiting to come out in drag right now. I look like Hopper from A Bug's Life today, and I'm here for Hopper. Okay, so then I got an interest in drag, And
Okay, great. So, okay.
well, because I was gonna say because it goes to it. Because then I went to the Exotica show and I was like, oh, bitch.
Exotica
because
show
like
was the first show I
was
saw.
gonna say like no shade to any of the other girls, but at the time like they were doing when I went, it was like a production night. Like they were doing full
Costumes, they're doing all
costumes,
that, yeah.
dancing, and I was like, this is like musical theater,
Yeah.
but with drag and like everything I've always wanted to do. And I was like, whoa. And I remember meeting Alexis, and I was like, that's a woman.
She was the first drag queen I met.
Yeah, I was like, that's 100%
That's a girl.
woman.
I was like, that's a...
So technically, Alexis was the first drag queen I met too,
Yep.
because I never introduced myself to you.
Twinning!
Yes, and then I remember I met DeJa. DeJa was so just like cunty, just like hi, and
She
walked
was
by.
a bitch, girl. They apparently she like had a station, right? And so me and my friend Christina and Andrea were backup dancing for Alexis. So I was there and I just sat there. Keep in mind we were at Exotica when I was like 19. So I just sat there.
Same here. I was like, I was underage.
So I just sat there and like they go, you might want to move because Diva's coming in and she'll fuck you up. And I was like, oh shit. So I moved and she just came in like a wrecking ball. Bitch.
Yeah, I came in like a wrecking. Yeah,
But now we love her.
yeah, of course, yeah. But and then I remember going to the Dollhouse show. You were not performing. It was
Okay.
the first time at the Dollhouse show. You were off. You were in Boy though.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the
this story.
show,
I love this
and I
story.
literally was like, "These girls suck." I don't remember who
I
was
was not performing.
No. I know you weren't performing because you were in a brown blazer, and you were there, and I
love that jacket.
and you had your glasses on still. They were smaller then. They grew as time got on. But I remember I was like, this show sucks. Because for me, I was that gay boy that was like...
Opinionated.
Yeah, but also too, I was like, I'm a dancer. I'm a musical theater person.
Dance.
So like, I was like, I want quality show.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And at the time, I don't know, it was just a lazy night or whatnot. But
No.
it just was...
No.
It was just not it for
It
me.
wasn't a lazy night.
Here's the thing. I was so egotistical and so drunk at the time that I was just saying it loud.
What the
and I
fuck
remember
is
just being
this?
like, this show is awful. I remember like, I don't know who, but I gave somebody a tip. I was like, you should try doing this. And worst thing, don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that.
Who was it?
I don't
Probably
remember.
Venus.
No. Oh, she would have smacked me upside the head. But it was somebody, and it was about a dancer thing. It might have been Giselle, honestly.
But she's a dancer.
Was. She is a dancer because of me. I'm just kidding.
She
No.
she was alive.
No. No, but I don't know who. But then I remember I saw a show and I finally met you at the Dollhouse.
Like, as in, like, met.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't remember what number you did,
It's fine.
but I remember I met you. But I remember you had your black root blonde, like Christina burlesque hair.
So, short or big?
Big. It was the hair that every queen had.
Yes.
It was like you weren't a queen until you had that hair.
The
that
platinum blonde with the- yeah.
Yeah. But I remember you were wearing that and you were in this gorgeous bodysuit and I met you. You were so nice to me.
I was!
Yes, you were
Oh,
super,
good.
super nice.
I don't know
And
what
again,
happened.
this is before drag, so like to every drag queen, every boy that they meet is just like eye candy. They're just like,
No.
oh no, not for you.
I was
But,
like,
oh, and then that was the night that Barbie Davis touched my wiener.
Inappropriate.
Yeah,
She almost got fired, I don't know how many times, because of the security saying, like, she's sexually harassing us.
yeah, girl.
To this day,
there'd be a
girl.
lot of people. There'd be a lot all over.
She was
There'd be-
the open
Yeah,
one. Everyone
yeah.
else was, like, messaging and trying to get pictures. No, she'd be like, let me grab your dick. Let me.
Right.
And they're like, what?
Oh yeah,
the
she
fuck?
full on grabbed my like hand in my pants, grabbed my wiener, and I was like,
Because that's the thing about drag is we feel like we're just, like, invincible. We can do whatever we want. And so it's not true because if someone did that to us, how would we feel? So I think sometimes
lucky.
just
Just kidding.
sometimes I think drag queens just need to remember that if we wouldn't want to be touched, don't touch others.
Correct.
Unless you have consent.
Yeah.
Different.
But yeah, and then I remember I met you, and you were very, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then the minute I said that I was interested in doing drag, I kid you not, I went to like every drag queen there at the Dollhouse because
Okay.
all of like my friends were like going there. Every one of them said, "Don't do it." Every one of them was like, "No, you shouldn't do it. Don't do it. You're
Did
not
I
going to want to
say
do it."
don't do it?
I don't think I asked you.
Okay. I was like, that's kind of
I think it was
rude.
I was so intimidated by DeJa because like DeJa was like
Say it.
the
Say it.
the one, like you were like, oh bitch.
The 1 and the 0.
Mm-hmm. She was the only one. And then came me.
Oh my god.
Can I have a refill?
Please tell them when your first night of coming out in drag.
Shout out to Chris.
Hey,
hello.
bartender.
I was gonna say, if you guys
There's no more Malibu, huh?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, yes, please.
Chris is the one that literally puts on this. He's oh
He's
my
the
god
production,
girl.
yes.
So you guys got to commend him as much as you guys commend us. Okay, so then, so tell this story real quick though, a little bit like the short story version because it is such a long story.
The segue
of what happened from CoverGirl's Dollhouse to you.
I'm
Give
gonna
it
try
to us.
I'm gonna try to keep this short. I'm gonna try. Tell me if I'm like just
Okay.
Okay.
Too long. Just kidding.
So we were added to CoverGirls and it was
30 of you.
It was 50 because there were 3 different groups: CoverGirls, Centerfolds, and LOS.
And this was
combined. This was at Legends.
Okay.
Okay. We were doing a Sunday.
Work.
Jeff Ho, which was the owner of the club.
Yes.
He wanted to be shady towards Exotica. So then he wanted to add a Thursday show, not knowing that CoverGirls was Sunday, jam-packed. Exotica Thursdays, jam-packed.
Time out. Just backstory for everybody that doesn't know though is that Jeff originally tried to get Exotica to come over to Legends to do both, and obviously Diva was like, we already have an engagement with Lee,
so he was bitter.
But Jeff was just being a businessman, like I'm trying to make Club Legends the most popping club, so that's what he wanted. So yeah.
So obviously it didn't work. Our Thursdays were dead because everyone was at Exotica. It was already established. Exotica's has always been Thursdays.
It was the and Express was such a cool club.
So fun. So we ended up. Jeff just said the show's canceled for now, and then we disbanded. Then a group of girls decided to stay at Legends, and then the older, more seasoned queens decided to go to. Thank you. Decided to go to CoverGirls at Arena. So we were in the original Dollhouse, me and Victoria, but we decided to go to CoverGirls
Arena
because that was. At the time, we were closest to Patty, Mercedes. Like, we were closest to them. Big mistake. Mm-hmm. Huge.
Which, time out, there will be, like, a connection between her and I on this.
Yes.
Later on when we go into when I started.
Yes.
But yeah.
So, we went to CoverGirls. I was there for, like, 2 months. But at the time, I was still cool with everyone. Why am I going to burn a bridge if... Like, just because we're not on the same show, I can still like you. I said shame show.
It's a shame show. It's a shame show for everyone.
I can still like you. I can still talk to you. It's fine. Yeah. So I just stayed really cool with them. So within, like, maybe 4 months, CoverGirls ended, and they decided to add me. So then I just went to Dollhouse. Yeah. That was short enough, right?
No, that was.
Did I
skip
skip any?
No.
Okay.
And Arena was a cool venue, but it didn't pick up. It just didn't pick up.
And also, there was just so much controversy because the opening weekend, girl, it was televised, everything.
Yes.
We were getting so, like, it was packed. The bartenders were fucking rude. I know exactly who it was. The bartenders were fucking rude. People apparently bought VIPs, but they weren't given VIPs. So it was just not a good weekend. Also, they're idiots because we opened the weekend before the Dollhouse anniversary. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Because they literally thought, straight up, because Patty and them said this, they literally thought that they had all of the support. Everyone came to CoverGirls to see them. No one came to see us. So they were big-headed. And literally, as soon as Dollhouse had their first show and we had our anniversary, girl, there was like 10 people in the audience.
Damn.
10. Because Jeff is a smart businessman. He was like, I'm going to give away a trip to Vegas. I'm going to give away a fucking moped. Like, he was like, I'm going to bring in people.
He gave away Harold's moped.
Because I will tell you this much. People all day long can say, I support you, I support you. But if there's a prize involved or there's some sort of incentive,
it's over.
They will leave you in a fucking millisecond, bitch. And you cannot say you can...
over. Yeah.
It's over. Yeah.
So then you were at Dollhouse, and then what year did you join Dollhouse?
20... Oh, I think like 2012?
2012.
I was there for 6 years and I left... No, I was there for 6 years and I left in 2018. So...
Yeah, 2012.
2012, around there.
Okay, so then I remember I started hanging out with like... We started going to Dollhouse a lot, and we started becoming really good friends with like everybody there.
Yeah.
And I started hanging out with like Venus and Giselle, Madison, and then I finally was like, I want to do drag. And Giselle was the only one that was like, okay.
Sure.
Actually, Venus had always been like, I'm down, but I think I just connected with Giselle because I was like, she's a dancer.
Yeah.
I'm a dancer.
Yeah.
And
you're both Asian.
Yeah. And then I remember finally getting in drag. I got in drag at Craig Bullard's house first and just stayed home. And then I went out in drag, and that was the green dress night.
That's smart then.
Yeah.
That you just like...
I just wanted to see what I looked like. And then The green dress night. Now, let me tell you, I got a green dress from Forever 21. It was
Same.
beautiful. I got heels from Torrid because these what these girls told me to do.
And
I
a
got
really bad wig.
and a
from
really
who?
bad wig from Madison Hart,
Oh,
which I
God.
found out later on were 2 underwigs.
Come on.
How dare she? How fucking dare she, bitch? Gave me 2 of her fucking underwigs, which
Yeah.
if you're not a drag queen, an underwig is like when you want volume in your hair and you just put a random wig under.
Like a bump wig. Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an underwig, girl, but you cannot tell me that I was not Beyonce with those wigs on.
She had new girl-itis
Mama.
right off the bat. New girl, okay, so I'm gonna tell this story real quick. She came out in drag. I thought she looked beautiful.
Dynamite was all the rage.
So I was like, oh my God, you look so pretty, blah, blah, blah. You remind me of Angel from Rent. She looked me up and down and just walked away. And I was like, okay. So then I remember I told the girls, I was like, who's that? And they're like, oh, it's Brandon, blah, blah. I was like, we've met before and he's been nice. Why is he such a cunt? Because he has a wig on now?
Because those underwigs. The underwigs.
Girl, but honestly, if you ever do drag, your first couple of times, you feel your full fantasy.
Yeah,
You feel like you are
absolutely.
untouchable. Like, I am a woman.
Well, and like for me though, being a musical theater
For
person,
you.
for me, it was because Angel is known for having like really like
Which I didn't
man
know.
makeup. She didn't know, but
Yeah.
I mean, and Angel is a goddess, but like, you know, at the time I was like, wow. You know, when you feel like J-Lo, you don't want to be told you look like Angel.
Did you really feel like J-Lo?
Oh, mama, I felt like Selena fresh from
Yolanda
the grave.
Saldivar.
Yes.
Fresh from
Why
prison.
can't we talk? What did you put in these?
This is
What is
Slytherin.
it? Yeah, we're both in here like, sure.
But that means
But-
you're going to get all the tea with this episode,
Yes.
bitch.
But I remember I felt so beautiful.
You
I
looked
looked
really
beautiful.
pretty. Yeah,
I
you
know
did.
I did. You know what's funny is because
I know I
because
did.
people will be like, "What's your first photo in drag?" And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and I always post out when they're like, "Oh wow, you still look like really cute." And I'm like, "Thank you."
But
so
she didn't do
much."
her own
I didn't do my
makeup.
own makeup. Giselle did. Which now when I look back at it, well,
It wasn't good?
No, the first one was good.
Yeah.
After that, she got real. Just like, God damn it, I gotta do this
Whatever.
bitch smug. Because then because here's the thing, right
She doesn't
after.
blend very well.
Well, like right after so here's the thing, babe, you and all the other queens got to have that moment where like you guys just like were free agents,
Yes.
doing drag for fun and all that stuff. I literally got like Michael Jackson propelled into
Sure.
stardom.
Yeah.
Like it was like they were like, when do you want to perform? And I was like, because I think half of them were kind of like, bitch, you want to talk all this talk, get on that stage and do what you want to do. And I was like,
Right.
okay. And also too, I was so cocky that I was like, I want to perform. I want to perform. I want to perform. Which I tell, all these baby queens, do not just expect a gig
Sure.
from any show. You gotta bug those bitches.
Yeah.
And you gotta get to the point where they're like, God damn it, shut up. Just
Yeah.
get on the stage and do what you need to do. Like, perform
Sure.
for tips. So literally, I remember bugging, and then they finally gave me the show. And I remember, I was doing also Shot Boy at the time, too.
Okay.
God, remember Shot Boys? That's so funny.
It was fine.
Um,
We just tipped you out with our penises.
I did. And then I did my number, and I turned it. Well, in a sense, but I had dancers and all this stuff. I like really wanted to like make it a moment. My outfit was shit though. I was literally wearing black tights.
But she was the type of person where like, I'm a performer. It doesn't matter about the
Yeah.
look. So she's like, I'm just gonna turn.
I
the
felt
fuck
like
out.
Gaga.
Yeah.
And with a Beyonce wig on. And then I was wearing like Target shoes. I remember my shoes were from Target. They were disgusting. But then I remember literally right after Victoria asked me.
Hold on. Let me.
Wait, hold on. No, let me say
Okay.
mine, and then I know yours because I already
Okay.
know. We already know the tea, of course, but we're telling you guys. So then, here's the shady thing. So I remember right after Victoria was like, "We want you to be part of Dollhouse." Now, keep in mind the people that I invited to this event were
Exotica
obviously
girls.
Dollhouse, but I invited the Exotica girls because,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, Missing Link, Exotica Express had closed down, and Exotica was now at Legends at this point.
Yes.
So they were part of the same club. So there was already rifts between Dollhouse and Exotica.
Sure.
Mostly caused by like other people rather than the actual girls themselves.
Yeah.
But I was kind of just like being like, hey, whoever wants, being that cocky little
Yeah.
new queen of like, well, who wants me? Who wants me? So
Yeah.
tell the tea though.
Okay, so the tea is this. So I was completely fine with her performing because I was like, yes, let's give new girls like she says she's a dancer, put her money where her mouth is, blah blah blah. The thing that was very frustrating was rather than you trying to like, okay, none of us got anything handed to us, okay? We had to fight for everything. Like we had to do free gigs, and then maybe there was a little bit of light shown on us. what happened was Exotica didn't really have a dancer.
Yeah.
Dollhouse kind of had me and Giselle, but like,
It was mostly you.
yeah. So like, I think you were the hot commodity, and rather than them be like, hey, let's add her because she's going to be a great asset, because she's going to bring something different, because she's really good at this, really good at that.
Get ready for it.
Add you for the sake of adding you just so Exotica wouldn't have you.
Boom.
That doesn't make any sense to me because
Crazy.
it's like, I think me and Shar were the only ones that said no to you because, again, Dollhouse was voted, whereas Exotica was
Diva. Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, the girls did vote, but like Diva always had the overall vote. Yeah.
It's like the last vote.
Correct.
So like we like voted it and I was like, but why are you guys wanting to add her? And they're like, well, we just don't want Exotica to have it. I was like, you guys, she doesn't even know how to really do her own makeup yet. She doesn't have any costumes.
Shar was like, I just hate her.
Yeah. So I was just like, why are we adding her? But obviously we were outvoted and we had her, but there was no like ill will. I was like, okay, it is what it is.
It's crazy to think.
Other way around.
Oh yeah, it's crazy to think though that like if you, I mean, who knows what have happened? Well, like where I would have been if I.
You would have been an Exotica.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, that is true because then, like, right after
they wanted you,
I did a
Alexis.
gig at Exotica.
Yeah.
Because Alexis immediately, as soon as she saw me perform, was like, "You're gonna be my baby,"
Sure.
and I was like, "Okay." So she like adopted me, so she is technically my drag mom too.
Yeah.
And she taught me more of like the in and out of drag, like this is how not to act, this is how to act, and all that stuff. Where Giselle
didn't listen.
Of course I did. No, as a regular teenage daughter wouldn't.
Yes.
But then all the Exotica girls like flocked to me because they were like, oh, you can dance,
Yeah.
you can do this, you put on shows, you have dancers. So I became really close with them. And then I remember at this point though, I didn't really get super close with you at all. Because
No.
people immediately, and this is gays for you toxic gays, because immediately to DeJa, what they would do is go, oh girl, she's gonna come for your gig.
Bubbles.
She's a dancer. She's gonna,
Bubbles.
so it was like
Bubbles.
no shade, but I mean
All shade.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? That was all shade
True,
because I
true.
was chilling. I was in my lane. You were in your lane. I was like, hey, we have another dancer. It is what it is. But it's just constant people saying
Yeah.
like, oh, well, are you going to be looking out for... It's like, girl, stay in your fucking lane.
Exactly.
Jesus.
Well, and excuse me, sorry, but who knew like that would be kind of like a theme, an ongoing theme for the rest.
That's basically
for a good portion of our
what lit the fire for our like
Feud.
disapproval of each other. Oh yeah, feud.
like a feud almost.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like it was just
It was not
it was
severe,
a
but-
friendly feud that we had,
Sure.
but it wasn't even caused by us.
No.
So at this point though, what I had gathered was that I knew that DeJa did not want me, but it wasn't anything personal. It was that you're not ready yet.
Because
Honestly,
I told
now-
her that.
Yeah, and honestly, for me now, I'd be like, she's right.
It makes sense.
Shar, I don't know if she
Fuck
can
you.
see, but
Shout out to you, sis.
but that's the thing is so then I ended up joining, and then I was the hot boo boo mess because Giselle said I'm gonna stop doing your makeup, but I was just so like I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I did not care that I looked a hot boo boo mess, and I was going
you
to
still
get
had
gigs.
performance value.
And I was still going to get gigs and all this stuff. But DeJa and I never like had that like we never had that clicking moment in Dollhouse. We never were like, okay, we're sisters. I think one time at the photo shoot we did, and then you drove my car to Visalia. We had a gig there,
Yeah.
and we all kind of hung out. But we weren't like as close as we were now. It was just very like. I'm cool, like coworker close.
Yeah. I'll tell you what it was for me and I remember specifically our taste in music was very similar because I remember at the photo shoot I had my phone playing and she's like, oh my god bitch that, oh my god bitch that, oh my
And
god
then on
bitch
the way
that.
to Visalia too,
Yeah.
we're playing music, and you're like, you know this song, and I was like,
because
work.
it was just we found a common ground besides performing. It was like she was hearing all kinds of stuff, I was hearing all kinds of stuff, but at that time we were just like, oh, but maybe you're not so bad.
Yeah,
You
and
know
I mean,
what
let's be real. Every drag queen, no matter what, when there's the new bitch on the scene, you immediately are like, I got eyes on you, bitch. You know what
Well, I
I mean?
didn't
Like,
automatically say that. It was mainly just because I just felt like we all had to fight for it, and you didn't have to fight for it.
yeah, I was a
You know what I
spoiled
mean?
drag queen. I was completely a spoiled drag queen.
Sure.
So then, anyway, I left Exotica because I said I had work
You
at
left
Red Robin.
Dollhouse.
I left Dollhouse. Sorry, because I said I I gave some bullshit reason. Of, like,
Some fully bullshit
it was something
reason
about like my
that
work.
We all knew was fucking a lie.
And it was because, but here's the thing. Here's the reason why. And
Tell
it's because
us, T.
is that the actual like only person that was like very like do what you want to do but do it the best you can was like this one over here.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a lot of the other girls subconsciously were like,
why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing
this? Exactly. It was more about what you're not doing. And
Sure.
it was, and anytime I wanted to go be like the crazy Cara corner that you guys know now,
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of met with like, it wasn't no, but it was,
It was because we were raised from CoverGirls, which is like
correct.
You have
Fishy,
to impersonate. You
all
have
that.
to do this.
Yeah.
So it was very instilled in them that like, why are you wearing that to that? No,
Yeah.
you should wear blonde hair for this. You should. So it was very that, and I was just
It
like,
was
okay.
like the fact that I would, when we would go out, I'd be in like Daisy Dukes and like
Sure.
something, you know, random, very like fashionist, like trash. No, like trash fashion. Like it was like trash.
I was like, look at people
No,
just
it
throwing
wasn't
that word out there.
It wasn't I wasn't like a fashion queen or anything like that. But I
Fashion
was
queen.
like doing like mixing like that real girl hipster look
Sure.
with like
Yeah.
drag. Whereas these girls were taught like gowns and club dresses
Really
and
tight, yeah.
you know, the bodycon dresses.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, no. And so
No.
I was like, I don't want to do but like that rubbed me the wrong way because I was already so big headed about everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm gonna go to Exotica where they let me be free. and yeah,
Lo
and
and
then I
behold,
did.
no, I'm kidding. I was kidding.
No, and then I did. And
That
then,
was the best, in my opinion. That
The
was
best decision
for
I
the
could do.
best
Mhm.
because at that time, no one was getting along with you.
Yeah.
So it was just like
Really.
no tea, no shade.
Because
no tea, no
I had
shade.
such strong like opinions. I was like, no, because I think they kind of thought, oh, that's a new girl. She's just gonna kind of sit down and be like me. And then I finally was like, no, I want a say,
Yeah.
but I didn't deserve a say.
Yeah, so then she just went to Exotica. Okay, but here's the extra juicy motherfucking tea. She left Dollhouse the weekend before the Exotica's anniversary and showed up to the Exotica practice and Jeff was like, "What is she doing here? Are you adding her?" Well, yeah, why not? So she timed it perfectly.
I had been to a rehearsal.
I
was
know.
in the dollhouse shop.
Fucking bitch.
But you know
Shady.
what? But I will say the person that told me to do things correctly was DeJa.
Yeah.
She had never tried to be like, let's be shady. She actually almost didn't add me because
Of Jeff.
she knew of what the drama would be. But DeJa had just always seen something in me and was like, there's something about this fucking little cunt right here that I just like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's dark-sided.
Yeah. And so I just always had like, and I mean, foreshadowing for the rest of my entire Exotica career, like I had always been like this with DeJa because we just like communicated on
Got
such
each
another
other.
level. Yeah.
What glitter is that?
This one, NYX.
Can I have that?
I'll show you some.
Please.
You can't have
It's
it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Turn. Oh, that's beautiful. It's like gold but iridescent. But
It's
green.
like it's more green and yellow rather than like
love
a bluish.
that.
Thank you.
If it comes up missing, Chris has it. Thank
Oops.
you.
Okay, so then fast forward. DeJa and I really didn't mix around a lot. She had her reigns on Dollhouse. I had my reigns on Exotica. But like as far as like a cast member, because that's the thing is I kept seeing girls come in and out of Exotica and I still just kept being like that bitch. And
Sure.
but because DeJa was that bitch for Dollhouse and I was that bitch for Exotica, people still were
Dude,
like
oh my God.
compared us and always were like, oh well, you're the DeJa of
Yeah.
Exotica or you're the Cara of Dollhouse.
I remember there was one time, and again, it was that fucking overweight fucking whale. Me. I remember, because
Nice.
again,
Be nice.
we have
No more drinks for DeJa.
we have a similar taste in music, correct? So I remember Uptown Funk came out, and she performed it, a girl version on it Thursday. I happened to perform it on Sunday
As a minion.
a boy version. Automatically, it was Cara did that, or are you copying, or blah, blah. It was like, oh my fucking god,
And-
we're two different shows.
And keep in mind, I don't know how many times that we would hear things that each other had said, but never from each other.
Never.
From everyone else. Like,
Because-
oh, well, DeJa said this
Yeah.
about your performance. And I'd be like, and of course, being young, we were in being in the
How
opposite.
dare
Yeah,
she?
that fucking cunt, And I mean, like, it was just, we fed into the bullshit.
We did. We were young, naive,
Now, there was a little bit of the thing is, though, is that I feel like I started finally finding my groove, and DeJa already had hers. Like, DeJa was like, this is my fucking shit. I know. Like, as far as, like, with Dollhouse and with that Club Legends. But at one point, we finally started becoming like okay with each other because we finally were just like, it's whatever.
We
And
did have
then-
a drunken conversation.
Yes.
Remember the heaters at Legends at
How could
night?
I not? There were 30 of them everywhere.
We were drunk and we just I basically sat down and I said, look, this is what's going on. Did you say this? Did you say that? If not, I gave her some advice. She gave me some advice. And we were fine.
Because at this point, it was like, if I went to a Sunday show, like at this point in Exotica, if I went to a Sunday show, it was met with always like, oh God, she's here.
That's true.
It wasn't like, oh, hey girl.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was always just, except though, you were always the one that was like,
was
hey,
cool.
how are
Hey,
you? You know what I mean?
yeah.
You have always remained the neutral person for
Why
everything.
am I going to be that cunt? Like,
And
there's
you were the
no
only one
point
that would
in it.
actually show up to Exotica and actually like watch the
I
show,
totally
not just
would.
like.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really did it. Like, I enjoy drag, you guys. Like, I really do. Back then, I was more or less like, I would be excited by tipping. Now I'm like, oh, bitch, yes!
Yeah.
Oh my God, girl, work!
She was excited when we tipped her over though. I love tractor tipping. Oh, by the way, I got a lot of people saying they loved my Donald Trump accent.
Love that for you. Snatch game,
It's
here you
pretty
come.
good. I can't do it anymore. Okay, so the break for it though was then I had started getting ballsy. Okay, well, hold on. Then we went to DragCon. No. Hold on, time out. We got to get before that. So then I had been going to WeHo here and
I'm
there.
trying to figure out where she's going with
I had been
this.
going to
Okay.
WeHo, and I went to a club called Rasputin, and they had this crazy night where it was like themed and all this stuff, and I was like, why don't we have shit like this in Fresno? So I remember
okay,
talking
yeah.
to my friend Vincent about this
Shout
at the
out to
time.
you, Vincent.
Hey, Vincent. Oh, I love it. My brother, literally like my full-on blood brother. Anyways, okay, back to the episode. So then
Back.
I remember I talked to him, I talked to Rochelle, and I was like, let's do a night where we have like themed people. We need the best of the best. And I finally had to like bite the bullet. And I remember so vividly that Vincent was like, okay, so which queens do you want? And I was like, well, I want to get out of town people. I want to get like Jamila. I want to get like Victoria. And they were like, well, we should get DeJa. And I was like,
Did he really say that?
oh yeah. He was the one that was like,
Word.
let's get DeJa. And I was like, she's going to try to take it over.
You-
She's going to, at the time,
Okay,
this is what I
okay,
thought.
okay.
Because again,
No,
we weren't this.
I've never heard this before,
So I was
yeah.
like, she's going to try to take it over. She's going to try to like, or vice versa. She's going to go, no, I don't want to do it because Cara's doing it. So that's like literally what I had
my
thought.
God.
Because that's what like but it
Sure.
wasn't you.
No, I
it
know,
was
I know.
everyone else.
Sure.
And so I remember when I asked you, I remember messaging you about it, or I don't know if I
No,
messaged
you asked me in person.
yeah.
During a Saturday, we were just chilling.
Yes, and then-
and you were telling me about it.
And you were like, cool, yeah, Simon.
Yeah.
DeJa's always the person that's like, cool, I'm down, let me know.
Yeah.
Like, she'll, like, if you're going to tell her about, like, this event, like, that's, like, 3 months from now, she's like, cool, let me know when it gets closer, and I'll do what I need to do if it seems, like, she's never a person that's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, unless it's, like, something that just, like, doesn't work with her, but, like, if you ask DeJa to perform at your grandfather's
I
funeral,
am
she'll be
there.
there in a full black
Yes,
outfit.
ma'am.
Get on up! Get on up!
No, I will survive.
Yes. Shit. But then I remember I asked you, and I remember when you said yes, though, I like in the instant I was like,
Really?
I got DeJa
Yeah.
to do this shit. Because for me, that's like, okay, here's the thing. Quick story was like I had already lost trust with Jeff because I was a drunk mess at the time, and I did Shot Girl, and I lost my tray, and he had it the whole time, so he was like, I don't trust you for nothing, and I was like, okay, wow. So I remember that was like the biggest conversation that we had when we started. He's like, Cara, when we do
remember
this
that
again,
night.
and I was like, I promise I won't. Foreshadowing to him, yeah. And then I remember he gave us the go, and we had the most sickening cast, and I remember for queens, we had every queen that was like, bitch.
Yeah.
Yes, as far as like in the community, and then I remember for boys too.
We had really good boys.
We did have cute boys,
Really good boys.
and the thing is that they
Creative
weren't,
boys,
They weren't
too.
exactly. They weren't like your biggest like. Oh, I'm buff like KCL.
Save that for
Club Poppy
Club Poppy,
boys.
girl.
Exactly, because we already had Club Poppy and KCL there, and no shade to them, but it was literally just a dick fest. It was like I'm there. It was sweaty. I remember we had all been. And it was. Remember, Jeff would want us to be there on the nights, and we were all like,
he would tell us to go on drag, and I'm like, there's no room.
yeah, and literally, we would all every drag queen would be in the same corner by the fan, just like, oh my god,
You're
are you
doing
good,
great.
girl? Yeah. Which I remember one time seeing you do something inappropriate with a man.
You shut the fuck up. You shut the.
It's
you
the one
fuck
time.
you.
I think it's the one time I've ever seen you do something full on like.
Slutty,
I mean,
hoary.
like hoary. I think I saw you suck a dick.
Continue with this conversation.
Anyways. So then we started culture shock.
I'll get 86 from. Never mind.
Fuck. So then I remember we started culture shock.
And that's what I remember her trusting me a lot with culture shock. Well, like really trusting
it
me.
was the first one because the first one I was very like, it's me and Vincent only.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fuck with us. It was Playboy. It was like, how can you mess this up?
Mm-hmm.
But I remember you were so helpful with like getting the queens, like because queens were already starting to be like, well, wait, where do I find? We had a queen in there that was very like, well, where do I find this? Well, where do I get this? Where do I do this? And DeJa was the one of the messengers that was like, girl, go to this, do this, find this. You can do that. You know, it was problem solver, which I love problem solvers. And so then we did it and it was a fucking hit. And then by the second one,
so much fun.
Yeah. And then by the second one, I was like, I need you to be like my right girl in charge.
Because it was like a creative one. Because wasn't it Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah.
So it was like a creative one. And she was like, okay, you know how to sew and blah, blah, blah. Let's just. But we did have, shout out to you, we did have a manual. Who was he sewed, he was super creative. So we actually had someone at least on like the boy side and the girl side.
I think Wonderland was the best one that we did.
Girl, it was a full experience.
Okay, so in the beginning, just to show you guys, so basically Culture Shock was like a themed party that we did. It was very New York. And when you walked in, there was a drink me sign and an eat me sign. And we were always up front greeting you. And then
you walk in.
You go to the right, and it was the Mad Tea Party. Yes. Yeah, there was a tunnel. It was a Mad Tea Party on the right side. And then
what were you? You were the white queen.
I was the white queen because everybody. I was like, everybody choose your person, and then I was last.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh shit, I got left with
what did
whatever.
I do?
You were Alice.
I was Alice. I did have my Alice costume. That's right.
You were Alice.
I chose first. I know I did.
So, well, here's the thing. So, for the first one, keep in mind, Fridays at Legends were so dead. Like, so dead. I remember
Saturdays were popping.
Saturdays were the best day, but Fridays were so dead.
Yeah.
And I remember that was my inspiration. And I remember for Friday, the first Culture Shock, when it was all of us in Playboy Bunny outfit, it was so packed. People stayed till 2 a.m. Like, we had to kick people out because that's how packed it was.
We knew it was going to be something.
And
we're like, oh shit.
Yeah, and it was like the girls were up performing. We were doing pop-up performances. I remember I got so pissed at Disney because he kept putting lights on us during our performances. And I was like, no it's supposed to be it's supposed to coexist. Yeah. Like, it's my vision. Don't fuck with me.
She said we wanted to add to the party, not take away from the party.
Yes. And so Wonderland, I remember going to you and I was like, I need you to be Alice. And you're like, I got it. I'll do it. And then the left side, the hip hop room was the card party. I remember Vincent got all these cards. He got white roses and he splattered some of them with red. I'm telling you, sickening.
Culture Shock. The people involved in Culture Shock really took their craft like seriously.
We spent
money.
I was gonna say most of it was our own money too. Jeff finally by the third one was finally like, here you guys go for like designs and stuff, but most of the time we ended up using it for balloons. Yeah. But we had so much. Oh yeah. Say what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say.
She is dedicated because she would literally get to the club around 6, do her full face, and then help set up.
Yep.
We were fresh.
Because the rule was the Go-Go's had to set up the whole event.
The queens were freshly faced. We would get there. Hey, what's up? She had been there since 6 p.m. Decorating and doing stuff. And I was like, damn, bitch, you're fucking dedicated.
I remember, too, sometimes I would come with my mug done at like 6 o'clock. And then you were always the first one there, though. You were always on time. And that's why I was like, DeJa's going to be, if I'm out, she's going to be it.
I'm not always there when you call, but she's always on time.
Yeah. So anyways, then fast forward to Culture Shock. I fucked up, guys. Like Alaska. Excuse me. I fucked up, got too drunk, caused a lot of drama. Take responsibility for it, though, because I'm a grown person now. Thank you. But, and then they became Aftershock, which is a shady name.
It wasn't our idea.
I know.
She told me that night, she said, hey, look, Culture Shock is done. DeJa, if you want to take it over,
I'll let you do it. Yeah.
Now, here's the shady part.
I was on a lot of drugs and a lot of alcohol.
So, on my way home that night, you know who.
Yes.
I don't want to say her name again, but you know who. Called me and said, hey, would you be interested in doing
Culture Shock?
Culture Shock. And I was like, yeah, me and Cara have already talked about it. Blah, blah, blah. Me and Cara already talked about it. I was like, okay, great. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I think Jeff wants to add Patty. And I was like, that's fine, because Patty at the time literally really didn't do anything.
Wasn't doing it. And keep in mind, Culture Shock was a huge moneymaker at this point.
Oh, huge.
For Jeff.
Yes. So I was like, okay, great. So that Sunday we were supposed to meet up with Jeff. Patty's there. I'm there. Who walks behind me? Victoria.
Oh.
And I was like, why are you here? I just want to sit in. And I was like, but why? Okay.
Yeah.
So we sit there. I'm bouncing ideas off of Jeff with Patty and stuff. Victoria keeps chiming in. I'm like, what the fuck? And then so Jeff is like, well, I want you and Patty to take it over, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And Victoria's like, well, yeah. And then also you need me because she literally...
She was like, what about me?
No, she finagled
Work, bitch.
her way into this meeting and to this...
Hats off,
Girl,
honestly.
I'm like, why are you here? And like, she was my best friend at the time. Like,
Yeah.
best friend at the time. But I was just like, why are you here? Because at the time... Victoria was quote unquote in charge of the girls at the dollhouse. So she already had her thing, right? So I was like, okay, well, let this be me and Patty's thing. So I was frustrated because I was like,
well,
girl.
And here's the thing. It only originally was just me and Vincent in charge.
Yes.
And then it became me, Vincent, Tommy, and you.
Okay.
You were in charge of the queens.
Yeah.
Tommy was in charge of the Go-Go's. And then Vincent and I were just in charge of
Everything.
everything else. And then, yeah. So, but ideally, though, it really only took 2 people to really put on the event.
Yeah.
As far as like guiding it, I remember, I'll never forget, because I remember shortly after I quit, did my kamikaze moment, Vincent left. And then more and more people started leaving, and it just became something different. And I remember even this one here was like, years later, was like, it became something completely opposite of what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, because we weren't putting on a party to like have fun. I feel like we were putting on a party because it was a good paycheck.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It was literally, I went a couple times, and the girls were just barely, nobody was there to greet you.
We just stood
girls
there.
were just getting in drag and standing around. But
I was the only person on time.
But-
I was the only queen there for an entire... Call
DeJa-
time was 10:30.
Yeah.
I was the only queen there for an hour.
And DeJa will tell you, when I was in charge of it, I would go up to the girls and be like, what are you doing?
Move. Do that.
Go
Yep.
up on the go-go box. You
Yeah.
need to be dancing. You need to
Yes.
go mingle. Go do something. You guys are sitting here for too long. I was full on Miranda Priestley, just
Yeah.
like, boom. It is, I always say this, it is my biggest regret in my entire drag career is the way that would happen with Culture Shock. If I could take anything back in my life, it would be that one night.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that I wish I just... But you know, in a sense, I also
you learned
don't,
from
because
it.
I had to learn from it, and it made me become a better businesswoman and a
Sure.
better like drag queen in person in general. But
Yeah.
like, you know, sorry Jeff for being so
Crazy.
crazy at the
Yeah.
time. I had to learn that
Yeah.
way.
It was.
But
It was. It was.
it
Fun,
was a
honestly.
moment. It was
just-
such a moment.
It just wasn't the same after you left, and
Yeah.
like I think the first year we were fine, but it literally just became.
it dwindled down.
It literally just became. I'm just getting here just to get paid.
I remember
That's what it came down to.
when you guys asked me to come back for the
bunny.
bunny one. And I remember after they were like, well, Victoria was like, I was waiting to get paid. And then they were like, well, hold on. And they kept making me wait and wait and wait. And I remember you coming up and you were like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm still waiting to get paid. And you were like, hold on. And you like went back, and then out of nowhere, Victoria came over and was like, here.
Because
she gave me the money. I think they were trying to be shady with me
wasn't
and
trying to
trying
pay
to,
you.
yeah, I knew they weren't.
Because I remember.
Because I was being loud too. I was like,
If I'm not-
they're not going to not pay me.
Well, if I'm not wrong, and if I'm not mistaken, I remember you showing interest and telling us you wanted to do it after the queens had already been cast.
Yes.
So,
Well, I went to a dollhouse show, and I remember that's when I finally made up with you guys in a
Yeah.
sense, like with Victoria, because there would have been a few events after. This was the anniversary.
Yeah.
And then I remember I talked to you guys about it, and then you guys were like, you know, well, you should. I think Victoria was the one that was like, you should come back for the anniversary, and I was like, I'm down, yeah. But here's the thing, there was never a talk of pay, but for me, it was kind of assumed, you know, in a sense.
well, it was because all the queens were cast, and basically we had to take from our money to
Yeah.
pay you.
Yeah.
That's basically
Which
what happened.
sucks
It
for
is
y'all.
what it is. No,
Just
but
kidding.
but I was the one really like, well, because I
It
said
wasn't until you,
I
yeah.
said like, I'll just pay her out of mine. Then they were like, well, no, we'll just add. I'm like, oh my god, okay, so pay the bitch.
Yeah, just they were trying to be shady and just not pay me. But But yeah, so then that ended, and then you finally left. Well, okay, so then Fab opened, and then we both had our turn of just doing guest performances. I remember you did Mojo Jojo.
She performed a lot
There
at
at
Fab. I really didn't. The whole thing is Jeff really tried
Pause.
to hold us.
Can I have a drink? This is gonna be such a good episode. I swear, it's gonna be so much tea.
So basically, like Jeff really did want us to just stay at.
Pause again. Would you mind if it was a part 1, part 2?
No, that's all.
Okay, work. I'm here for it because I was like, we're already at an hour, but like, there's so much
There's
more.
so much
But
to
it's
talk
so
about.
good.
Yeah.
We can't just talk about our lives in 1 hour.
Yeah, that's why I was like, girl, you want me to do this house?
No,
tour?
I love this. This is so fun. It's therapeutic too.
It is. To talk
Also,
about the past and, like,
shout
where
out to
we
my
come from.
animals. We live in an animal farm, so this is Honey Bear. And you might see Wuzzy, you might see a couple cats, T-Rexes, Chris, all that stuff.
Triceratops.
Okay, so
Cara.
yeah. So say what you're gonna say.
What was I talking about?
You're
Oh,
talking about Fab.
Jeff wanted us to literally just stay at Legend. He really frowned upon us, like, stay there. So
Yeah.
you were, from the gate, were like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I was like that.
Very that.
Cara, at the beginning of Dollhouse, I was that girl. But no, I'm going to perform here. I'm going to perform here.
But the other girls made you.
Yes. Well, and Jeff said, because Jeff would say, I would prefer you not to. Me, I'm like, okay, then I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Then it wasn't until a meeting he said, no, that means I do not want you doing these things.
Pause. Remember, a lot of times I wouldn't say you specifically, but like you and a lot of the other girls would get pissed at me because I was such a rule breaker. Jeff, because here's the thing, with Dollhouse, Jeff owned Dollhouse. That was his girl.
But Jeff
Those are his
didn't
girls.
own
He didn't
Exotica.
own Exotica. Exotica essentially just rented out the building
So
from
Cara
Jeff.
was doing things that
So
we were
I
not
was
allowed
able to do.
to do.
I was performing wherever I
Yes.
wanted, and he would go to Diva all the time, just so you know, and was like, "Cara can't do this. Cara could do this," and she was like, "Well, I have the final say, and I say she's fine."
Period.
So he was like, and literally, Diva would essentially tell Jeff, like, "I'm renting the building from you.
Yeah.
You're not in charge of my girls."
Sure.
And Diva would come to me and be, "If you guys think that I didn't give Diva a headache, you're wrong." All the time, she would message me and be like, "Girl, Cara," she'd call me.
Can't do this.
Okay, so the situation is, and I'd be like, okay, but
Yeah.
but yeah, so I always gave, I was the rebel child, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. But I will say that I definitely did like pave the way and open the door to be like, you know what, we're gonna perform wherever we want. Fuck
She
this
did.
shit.
She did
Fuck this
because
shit.
because it wasn't until Diva saying, look, okay, hold on. Okay.
Yes, go with
Because
your
that's
story.
yes.
That goes into now what she was saying.
So basically, it wasn't until the thing was kind of loosened up that I started going, but here's some tea. Here's some tea.
Motherfucking tea.
I had been to Fab on my birthday once.
Mm-hmm.
And then another time, but again, never performed. I was just there just to support, say hi, because I knew Isis and Lay, and
You know
I knew
Cisco.
some of the
Cisco,
queens.
we knew Cisco
Yeah.
from here and there.
So I remember Dragula came, and I was obsessed with season 1. Like, obsessed with season 1. So I remember Dragula came the same night that we had Aftershock.
Ooh.
Girl, I told...
I remember that. I was so excited.
I told Victoria and I told Patty, I said, look, I don't really care at this point, but I'm going to go see those girls. I'm going to see them. I'm going to leave for like maybe an hour, and I will be back. Don't tell Jeff. Bitch, I snuck out.
Shit.
I remember, I think it was either Cisco or Cookie allowed me to go through the back door.
Probably Cookie.
Yeah. So
Here, come back
so
here.
I could just like watch it, and then as soon as the show was over, leave. But I remember Andrew Losh, because he takes video and pictures.
Yes.
I remember
Oh, no.
him like kind of like going towards me and like saying hi, and I was like, don't.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I said, whatever you took.
Because let's be real, DeJa's mug is it's completely recognizable. You know it's fucking DeJa
And
Sky.
Jeff would have seen the outfit, because it
Yes.
was like a Honolulu night. Jeff would have seen the outfit that I was wearing. So I remember afterwards I go, can you just delete that picture, please? I just don't want anything. Lo and behold, he didn't know. I was fully incognito. And I fully went there and didn't know. But yeah, I think after that night, I think Cisco kind of saw that I was kind of like trying to like be more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he like liked the fact that I was like not a rule breaker, but a
being
rule
rebellion.
breaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's
So,
what he always liked when he. So I was like, I don't care. He would be like, "Aren't you talking about Legends?" I'd be like, "No."
Yeah.
Hold on, I just sneeze.
Dab. There's green in here. I just
Oh, holy shit, mocos. That's crazy. I didn't even know that story. That's insane. So okay, so
What are they
then
gonna do? Fire me?
right? Well, and that's kind of like the mindset that we both had was like, what are you gonna do? Fire us?
It's
Because
true.
for
Towards
her,
the
it was
end
more
especially, I
because
was like,
I was gonna say
girl.
for DeJa though, she was the main bitch there. She was the one bringing it in. She was the one balancing the show. And I'm sorry, but like it's the tea.
I love my sisters.
It's no shade to the end of any of the girls, but at the time, some of the performances were just like meh. It's not any representation of the queens themselves. It's just based off of the performances and the shows at that week.
At that time, that was the last year. So yeah,
Correct.
The girls really didn't,
And for me, it
our
was
audience
like,
was dwindling down a
Yeah.
little bit. So
and
yeah,
for
I
me,
get it.
and even Exoticus was dwindling down, but even for me, it was very like, like you can't get me. So like, I was being a brat about it, but that's crazy. I didn't even know that. Well, and I was going to say another little thing, another moment where we came together was the culture shock or a pride event where I was in trouble, I think from my shot thing or something like that. Hey guys, sorry for the interruption. It's me, Cara Coronado, and I'm sorry to interrupt your podcast listening experience. However, there is going to be a part 2 of this juicy tea-filled podcast. We just forgot to film a little outro for the first part because we realized that we went a little bit over time, and you will find out what caused us to say this. What? I'm so confused. So tune in next week for part 2 of the tea spilling history of DeJa and Cara. Love you guys.